Hi, welcome back to Real Reviews. This is Cody Williams, and we're here to talk about the movie Despicable Me 4. This is the fourth installment to the main series, and also the sixth entry in the overall Despicable Me franchise, if you include the spin-offs. Say what you will about this series, but I actually enjoyed the first couple movies. Then I wound up jumping the shark with oversaturation of a bunch of sequels, prequels, and spin-offs. I think we have enough of these movies, but they just keep on making them. Out of curiosity, I am kind of intrigued to check this movie out, so you don't have to. Is this movie good? Well, let's talk about it. The movie story follows Gru, Lucy, Margot, Edith, and Agnes as they welcome a new member to the family, Gru Jr., who is intent on tormenting his dad. Gru then faces a new nemesis, Maxime Lamal, and his girlfriend Valentina, while the family is forced to go on the run. Just as I thought, this sequel is just alright to say the least. It doesn't add much of anything to the series, except for the fact just to introduce that Gru now has a son. Everything else about the movie was just bland. Obviously, the movie has some issues, and of course I'll get to those later. Right now, I want to talk about the great things the movie has going for it. That all includes how beautifully animated it is, some great voice acting, and how it has tons of fun references to other movies. I will say that the best thing about the movie is how beautifully animated it is. When it comes to the animated films from Illumination, you can tell that the animation is handled with such great care with how amazing it looks. With each subsequent sequel, you can tell that there's an improvement in quality, and so far, this is the best looking out of the bunch. As far as the characters go, I really enjoyed all the voice acting. All the main lead actors from the previous films all returned for their respective roles, including Steve Carell, Kristen Wiig, Miranda Cosgrove, and so on. I did, however, also enjoy having Will Ferrell and Sofia Vergara in the movie as well. When it's all said and done, you can tell everyone had a lot of fun with the voice acting. Like I said earlier, this sequel has a plethora of references to other movies, with some more obvious than others. Not only that, but there's also a lot of fan service nods to the other Despicable movies as well that I thoroughly enjoyed. When it comes to the movie itself, well, let's just say it's not the best, narratively speaking. This movie simply has a disjointed plot, and there's just not much of anything to it. It's simply non-existent. The stories to the first couple of Despicable Me movies is what made me really enjoy them, besides having tons of laughs. However, this sequel severely lacks in the writing department. Speaking of the laughs, they are there, but it's just wound up becoming too much with an oversaturation of non-stop goofiness. I will admit that there's a lot of humor that mostly everyone can enjoy. I just don't think the comedy in this film is as great when comparing to the first couple of Despicable Me movies. Instead of being called Despicable Me 4, they should have just named this as a Minions sequel and called it a day, especially after sidelining Gru and the other main leads in favor of the yellow Minion characters. I just think that the Minions needed to be used more sparingly like the older movies and made the comedy a tad better. When it comes to the film's antagonist, I wasn't impressed at the slightest. The character felt too reminiscent of Edgar from Men in Black, and it felt like a ripoff if you ask me. Simply put, the villain is simply mediocre at best. For a 90-minute long film, I did enjoy the shortness of it all, but there's simply too much crammed into it. I just feel like it needed some downtime and take a breather or something. I don't know, it's just a lot going on all at once. It's ridiculous. With all that said, I do feel like that this movie could have been a whole lot better, and obviously, we need a break from these movies. Overall, Despicable Me 4 is undoubtedly an unnecessary entertaining addition to the series, as it is overly rambunctious. This sequel isn't the worst of the series, but it's nothing worth bragging about either. At least it's somewhat enjoyable for both children and adults alike. If anything, this movie is just average at best. I give this movie a C. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel to keep up my real reviews.